Yo guys, what is up? I got another video for you guys today. It's going to be covering 4 different ways that you can leverage your time and actually get success in today's market. This is for if you're an agency, coach, or consultant, so stick around to the end as I do get quite into detail. All right, enjoy guys. Yo, what's up? Let's dive in. So how to get results without sacrificing exponential time. If you're an agency or a coach or a consultant, this video is definitely for you. But if you just started your agency and you haven't signed a client yet, then do still stick around, but this might not apply as heavily as it would everybody else. So basically, in this, I'm going to cover a quick 4 points. I don't want to make this video too long because attention spans these days are pretty short, but basically let's go over the problem. So the problem, and the reason I wanted to talk a lot about leverage is because a lot of people are not using leverage. A lot of people get into this space, they're already successful, and they tend to think that they can do everything themselves, which ends up actually, AirPods died. But it ends up actually hurting their business, and they lack the results that they could get, which is usually like 50K and up. They're either 10K, 20K, 30K, and they're stuck at that mark because they're doing everything themselves or they're not delegating to enough team members. Now, basically, this looks like this. You're spending countless hours. You may already have a system, the way that you go about your day, the way that you structure everything, the way that you fulfill for your clients, but you're still putting in countless hours of work and you're questioning why. You're sitting there putting in 30 hours of work a week. You have not a high ticket offer. You're really offering a low ticket offer because every time you get somebody through the door, you don't necessarily want them to run away. So you're sacrificing the amount you should be getting paid for a low ticket offer. And you become a slave to your own creation. So you think you make a bunch of money. You think you're making 20K a month. Okay, that's great. But you're still doing everything yourself. You're still working a 9-to-5 job. The point of actually starting an online business or starting any business in general is to escape the 9-to-5. You're trying to escape the rat race. Instead, you've created a rat race for yourself. And this basically looks like this. So if you're already a successful agency owner, this isn't anything new to you. If you're new in the space, then again, this is basically the model that a lot of people start off with. You scrape all the lead lists yourself. You either scrape email lists, you're getting phone numbers for cold calling, finding accounts to DM, you're dialing in the perfect message, you're making it as perfect as you can so you can send it out as quickly as possible. You're sending hundreds, if not thousands of messages, emails, DMs, cold calls every single day, consistently. You get the positive responses, you book sales calls, and you close deals. And I specifically put it like this because this is what it looks like every step of the way, and you're trying to climb the ladder up, but you end up halting yourself because you have a giant weight on your back. And by the time you get down here to close the deal, you're already drained. You're done because you're doing this entire process by yourself. A one-man team is a one-way ticket to failure. You're the only one trying to push this business up to the top. And if you stop, everything stops with it. So I actually created 4 different ways that you can avoid that. And they all work in combination and they all stem off of leverage. This is basically what we did for ourselves. Me and my brother, we run next gen scaling. And before we were in our 9-to-5s, we ended up leaving. But our calendar was completely empty. We decided to change that because instead of doing everything ourselves, we actually got a leverage team and we're able to fill up our calendar consistently, back to back to back, get results, and not be slaves to our business. And how we did that, and before I even go in, it doesn't matter how many courses you buy, because courses usually give you more information instead of implementation. And even if they give you implementation, they don't necessarily give you the resources to do so. What you need is the resources to actually use all of that information, which without creating a headache, and this is what I'll dive into. But bending time with leverage. Your ideal focus should be on building a team around yourself. You're trying to escape from the center of everything. And by doing so, you create a team. Now, yeah, it's pretty fucking obvious, but people don't really do it. So, I kind of have to say this, but you need a team. You should be sending out volume, which should already be known. And if not, then I'm telling you. Because the rest of the market is sending out 9,000 messages a month at least. There are people sending thousands of messages a day with specialists that they put in these different categories, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all these different platforms with their tailored workflows, with their value assets, educating their prospects in whatever niche that they are. So you need to be doing this number ideally. And doing this yourself will actually strain your business. You're not going to get results, and you're actually going to halt the results that you could be getting, which is 30, 40, 50K. And up. So don't be stuck at that 10K a month model because that isn't really success in my opinion. But This is ideally with 2 specialists that are each sending out about 200 messages a day in your dedicated channel. And you're getting 20 to 30 warm leads per day consistently without having to put in effort yourself, or as much effort, because that's taken care of. You now have someone else to leverage who's spending a dedicated amount of time every single day, 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and all they're doing, their sole focus is sending out messages. And then the conversion onto sales calls is usually out of this is about 10 to 20%. They say yes, great. You have a client without putting in 30 plus hours just to get that one person and doing the rest of the fulfillment and the onboard, etc., etc. And the one thing that I want to drill away is that that's the biggest thing. If you want to separate yourself from just making 10K and making 50K plus, your mindset needs to be so stuck on a team as much as you hear it everywhere else. Yeah, like a team, cool, whatever. No, like this is probably the most crucial part of your business and why you're not reaching the numbers that you want to get. If no, great. You create a free audience or you own the audience. So you're leveraging your time, and now you can leverage an audience that you own for free. You invite them to a group, qualify them, and still solving their number one problem through email value, training videos, etc. But this is what you need. So in step 2, now that you were able to actually leverage somebody else's expertise, you combine that with leveraging a convertible audience. And this is where this comes in. You pick a platform, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and you want to get rid of the friction. That's why you in combination with getting a specialist or a team of specialists, ideally, finding an audience that's more convertible, removing that friction in the middle, and removing that friction from you and how your business is working. And the solution being that the audience is already primed. And this basically looks like this. You have a paid audience and a free audience, but these audiences are specific to the niches you're targeting, the market that you're trying to serve. The paid audience is usually better because they have already invested in themselves. They've financially invested in themselves, so they're usually more committed. And this is basically like a breathing gold mine. Free audiences, they're also good. In this case, the prospect is investing their time, not necessarily their finances, but they're taking time out of their day to learn something more that can get them closer to where they want to be. And basically, you're creating a giant pool, ideally over 60,000 people in half the time and without your effort. Because remember, your team is like, I'm going to keep coming back to this because your team is a gold mine. If you think that you can do everything yourself and load everything onto your back, let's come back here in 6 months, and by that time, or a year or 2 years, you're going to still be doing the same thing in the same place, probably burnt out, and you're not going to want to continue any of this. You're just going to go back to getting a 9-to-5 job. Or I assume, because that's what I would do, because nobody wants to be stuck in the same cycle forever. Now, this will lead you to actually leveraging attention-grabbing assets. Now, all this is in addition to everything else. You focus on value solutions and storytelling and creating assets that get that attention of the people you're reaching out to. So you're reaching out to a mass market of people. You're then also collecting those people into a group. You're reaching into groups that either paid and invested in themselves or invested their time, and you're giving them free value. People love free stuff. Like anybody would take anything for free. So why not just give it to them? And Alex Ramones said it. I don't know if he said it originally, but he says, give away the secrets and you sell the implementation or the operations. You're not necessarily giving everything away, but you want to position yourself in a way that puts you as the authority in the people's eyes without having to do excessive amounts of work, because now you can actually think clearly, create something that's actually tangibly valuable to your direct consumer, to your audience, and you make people want to work with you through your assets. You make people want to question, this guy can help me, how do I get in contact with him? And then your team takes care of the rest, where they start to outreach, they start to interact with the audience. Even in your free owned audience, there's people in there that are actually interacting and engaging with everybody that comes into the group. You invite them to a Facebook group and leverage group building workflow, which is then put onto a different specialist that's dedicated to the group, or the same one, vice versa. Then you also combine this with leveraging content. So now remember, you have a team, so you're able to focus, instead of focusing 30 hours on actually doing something like, doing all the outreach, etc., you're able to create content like this. So all the content platforms, whichever one you select, it can either be Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. I would ideally select 2 and then have everything else circulating around those. But this is what that looks like. This is what we do for ourselves and what you would ideally be doing for yourselves. And you can walk away and implement this immediately. I do want to let you know that you will have to train specialists. You can't just go and buy them and expect them to do the magic for you. You have to train them. You have to create the workflows. You have to pick the target audience. You have to let them know how to answer to certain questions, how to book the calls, so that this can actually work for you and you can actually hit that 50K per month. The other option is you just click the link below. We've already done it. We have proven systems, proven workflows. Hop on a call with us. We can literally walk you through this in probably 15 to 30 minutes of how you can actually walk away and get to that level of success. So if that's something that interests you, I do, again, say, get on a call with me, my brother, or my team, and let's get it popping. But either way, I hope you got some value from this video. I didn't want to make it too long, but do please get yourself a team if you want to get past that 10, 20, 30, 40K a month mark and get 50K and up in monthly recurring revenue. Usually it takes 3-4 months. Remember, you have to put in work, and your work has to be dedicated in attention grabbing assets, finding the right audience, and actually creating content to get those people to convert when your team is implemented. So hope you got something out of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.